Hey guys, what's up? It's Flynn here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to play Khora in Warframe in 2019. And now, Khora is a frame that I have a hard time recommending to newer players because the amount of resources in the form of Forma, Kuva, etc., that you have to put into this frame to make her really, really good is absolutely insane. That I feel like me recommending Khora to a newer player is kind of stupid. Right? Because on top of that, you also have to farm her from Sanctuary Onslaught, and most newer players probably won't even know what Sanctuary Onslaught is. So, what we're going to do, my DPI from my mouse went a little bit crazy there because it's a wireless mouse, and I just turned itself back on, so it took a little while to register. That was what the weird flick was, but yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the Khora build first. So, Khora's damage mainly comes from her 1, which is a pseudo exalted, paired with this augment right here called Accumulating Whipclaw. Accumulating Whipclaw lets the damage from Khora's 1 scale a little bit better, even though it already has pretty decent scaling to begin with. So my idea was to stack as much power strength on the Khora as possible to make it so that the 1 would one-shot as many enemies as possible. So I have Blame Rage, Umbral Intensify, and Power Drift on here for my damage. We've got Umbral Fatality on here to buff up the effects of Umbral Intensify, plus giving us health. Prime Flow on here for more energy because you need a lot of energy. I tried to negate the negative effect of Blame Rage with Streamline and Fleeting, but it's definitely not enough with the amount of times that you're going to be casting your 1. You're going to need a lot of energy because, you know, the more you cast, the more damage you're going to deal because it does scale with your combo counter as well. So, Stretch on here for more range because we do also have CC abilities on this build or on this Warframe. And then Cruise Projection on here because I want to deal more damage versus armored enemies. You could use Steel Charge if you really, really wanted to, but you're going to get more damage versus armored enemies with Cruise Projection. And then any enemy that is unarmored, well, you know, they're just going to die anyway. So, yeah, there is that. I've got Arcane Strike on here to buff up the attack speed of my melee weapons if I'm using them, and then Arcane Fury on here to buff up the crit damage, and this is going to stack into our 1 Whipclaw as well. So, because it's a pseudo exalted, you want to use a melee weapon that has a high Riven disposition because pseudo exalted basically means it's going to take from the stats equipped to your equipped melee weapon, right? So if you have a Riven that has over 300% melee damage, then you want to throw that on. So the idea is to get a melee weapon with a high Riven disposition and then get a melee Riven that has a high damage stat and then pair that with other damage mods such as, you know, augment mods for that melee weapon if you have them, such as Blade of Truth for the Gel Sword. Spoiled Strike is going to give you more damage as well. Prime Pressure Point, more damage. Elemental mods, more damage. Organ Shatter, critical damage. Sacrificial Steel, more critical chance, so on and so forth. This is the build that I use on pretty much every single Pseudo Exalted just for more damage, and it works out just fine. We've got Venari, and this is basically Khora's passive. Well, the passive is, you know, you get bonus stats, so provides her with 15% speed boost while active. If killed, Venari will reappear after 45 seconds, so, you know, you're getting a speed boost whenever Venari's by your side, which is pretty cool. But this guy dies, and he dies a lot. Here's the mod that, or the mods that I'm running on them. I don't really feel like he's super effective. He's single target. He can deal some pretty decent damage, but I don't know. I don't use him that much. He's got a healing mode, which I like to keep toggled on. But, you know, other than that, I don't use him that much. You can pair Venari with another kitty cat, and I recommend doing that because this kitty cat, you know, will give you crit bonuses, which is going to help out your overall damage as well. So 2 cats for the win with Khora because she is thy cat lady, right? So let's talk about the abilities. So the first ability is your damage dealing ability. You're just going to whip it real good. You keep on whipping, you keep on whipping, you keep on whipping, and it's going to make damage go higher and higher and higher. Should probably go ahead and pause these guys. Actually, let's not, because we're going to get the stealth bonus. So just keep on whipping these guys, and you see that the damage goes up and up and up. You deal crazy damage with the 1, but keep in mind, you got to have power strength, you got to have good mods on your melee weapon. Your energy is going to go down pretty fast. I also have the Sharpened Claws mod on my other cat and Venari to strip away the armor from enemies to make them die even faster as well. It is really helpful, and I would say super noticeable as well whenever you're just whipping into a crowd. But as you can see, after like whipping away those 20 level 110 heavy gunners with no stealth bonuses, we lost quite a bit of energy there, but we managed to kill all of them, which is pretty good. Level 110 is the highest level enemy you're going to come up against playing your daily content, so that's why I use 110 over like 165, because we're just showing generally how good the Warframe can perform in the daily content that you're going to be doing, right? So that was without using other abilities, and we killed those guys pretty fast. If you use the second ability, it's going to grip enemies into one another, so check that out. They'll get linked together, and you can whip them and deal a lot more damage to that group of enemies who are linked together. So let's just go ahead and do it again. Press your 2. It's going to chain everybody up, and then you whip it real good, and those bad guys are the big dead, which is awesome. So that's cool. Let's go ahead and test out Venari in her attack mode. So with the free, if you tap it, or maybe not, if you hold it down, then you're going to change through the different modes. But then if you tap it, then you're going to make Venari do something. So here's the attack mode. We tap, and then Venari does a big old swipe and deals damage to the bad guy. Let's go ahead and make her do it again. Or is she going to do it again? There she goes. So she can deal alright damage. It's nothing insane. Let's do it versus an armored enemy. And go, Venari, go. Do something. Yeah. Slash damage. Cool. Awesome. And then she strips away the armor as well, which is awesome. In defense mode, she's going to disarm enemies. So that guy now has no weapon. You can just gun him down or whatever. And in the healing mode, she is going to heal me. Displayed by the little icon above my head right there. So that's pretty A-okay. Okay. I can't speak. A-okay. You can see that her health is regenerating pretty fast. She does die quite easily in higher level content, so be wary of that. But as long as you're playing fast enough, I would say, then you don't really have anything to worry about, right? So that's cool. But now let's talk about Khora's fourth ability, Strangledome. Let's go ahead and spawn in a new group of level 110 heavy gunners. So what I like to do is I like to use my 2. Okay, group them all up, and then press my 4. And then what happens is you can use your 1 and your 4 to spread the damage between all the enemies trapped within your 4. And I've made the Strangledome just last long enough so you can kill all the bad guys inside it. So you just pop this down, and then there you go. I believe you can have, I think, maybe 2 or 3 Strangledomes active at once. Let me just go ahead and do a test real quick. So there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. Okay, so it's only 2. You can only have 2 up at the one time. It's been a while since I played Khora, so forgive me for not knowing that off the top of my head. But yeah, you can deal crazy damage with Khora, paired with Strangledome, paired with your second ability, which I forget the name of, but crazy damage. You spend a lot of energy. Big investment for the Warframe if you consider the fact that, you have to go out of your way to get a good Riven. You got to get a good Riven for the melee weapon, a specific melee weapon, or a melee weapon that just has a high Riven dispo. And then you got to form not only Khora, but then you also have to form a Venari as well. And then if you want to make the most out of it, you got to form another Smita Kitty, and those are also pretty hard to get too. So it's a lot of investment for a pretty damaging frame, but definitely worth it in the end up, I would say. Just definitely not for a newer player, you know what I mean? So the more you use your 1, the more damage you're going to deal. It's going to decay over time, but that's alright because you're able to just stack that damage back up again. So you can see it up in the top right hand corner, decaying, but we just go ahead and we keep on whipping, and it goes back up again, and it just keeps on scaling, and eventually, like, we just one-shot all the enemies, which is absolutely phenomenal. So it's all about just keeping that accumulating whip claw bonus up, and then running around whipping all the bad guys, and yeah, having fun playing Khora. I love playing her in a survival mission. She definitely is a fun frame. She doesn't necessarily fill any particular rule or anything like that. She's just one of those fun frames who, you look at it, you say, oh yeah, I like the theme. That's pretty cool. I'll play this frame and try to make the most out of it, right? That's Khora. And that was a weird lag right there. Man, I've never seen that before. Whoa. See that? I froze in midair. That's a new one. Holy. Okay, cool. I thought my game crashed there, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to remake this video. It feels bad, man. Sad about it. Only ever happens to me, but yeah. Let's take a final look at the Jaw Sword builds, just for, clarification. So we got more crit damage on the Jaw Sword, Riven, more melee damage. The negative that I have on it is minus critical hit chance on slide attack, because you're not going to be slide critting with the Jaw Sword. So that and finisher damage are okay to have on. There's other negatives that you can have, but, you know, generally you want to go for like super duper harmless negatives, like things or stats that you're definitely 110% not going to need. So yeah, there's no other builds that I really have for Khora. I've experimented with a few things, but you know, the one that I have equipped to my config A is definitely the one that I would go for. Like I said, you can run 2 times Arcane Fury for more consistent bonus damage, but, you know, I like to also melee with Khora sometimes, depending on the melee weapon that I'm using. So that's why my Arcane Strike is on there as well. But Arcane Fury definitely helps out a lot. But other than that, honestly, that is Khora, guys. There's multiple different builds you can run on her, and definitely multiple different builds that you can run on Venari. But I just see her as, like, you know, the pseudo-exalted 1 damage frame, kind of like Atlas, with a very, very high barrier to entry type of thing. But once you get all that Forma and you know, invest a lot of Kuva into a Riven mod, a Jaws Riven mod, whatever, then, you know, Khora is really, really damaging. So other than that, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, go ahead and hit like. If you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.